Sinjar Mountain in Kurdistan.
Wow. Why did it take so long to get her out? And also, what changed on the ground that made it so that she felt that she would publicize her story?
Our first problem was that she didn't have any documentation in order to travel anywhere. She had been taken at the age of 11 years old without any ID. She was kidnapped. How do you prepare a passport or a travel document for such a person who's in Gaza while she's a citizen of the state of Iraq? It was very difficult and complex. We succeeded at securing a passport in absentia, a one-way laissez-passer to Jordan. And this is what we used in order to get her into Jordan with the help of the American forces and Israeli IDF as well.
I'm interested to hear, again, though, her decision to essentially post that video and speak out about her plight. What triggered that?
Something took place around November or October, if I recall correctly. Her captor, the brother, one of her captors had deceased. The IDF had killed him in a battle in Gaza. She gathered her courage because he wasn't around anymore, and she took a phone and she did a TikTok video. And that TikTok video was a call saying, "I'm Yazidi, this is my name. I was taken a long time ago. Does anybody know who my family, where my family is? Is anybody still alive?" And Ruda got a word of that video. So that was the result of the IDF action, or else she would have never had the courage to do such a video. And she got abused and battered. Once the video aired and Ruda made it a news segment, she was brutally battered for it.
What was it like to see her reunite with her family? And what did she say that she wants to do with her life right now?
It's touching because we were used to these reunifications between Mosul, between Syria and Iraq. We've done 140 of them. We were part in a lot of the rescues for the past 10 years. But this one was different. She was in Gaza. She was far away. Egypt was closed on one side. Israel on the other side does not welcome Iraqi citizens to its territory. It was very complex. It was a long process. It was very difficult. I think that the joy for me was more of seeing her exit Gaza more than her getting reunified with her family. It was a difficult, a tedious process. I have to say.
How many Yazidi women are?
Israel needs to take over the Middle East. Whoever wants to stay and be a loyal citizen is welcome. Whoever is not, chop their head off. No questions. That's it.
Still in captivity almost a decade after ISIS started massacring these Yazidi communities. And do you suspect that there are possibly more Yazidi women in Gaza?
We haven't heard that there are other Yazidis currently in Gaza. We did hear from Father Debois out of France, who's been working and with the Yazidi community, the women that were released, that he has testimony of numerous women who were taken by Hamas fighters who went to fight for ISIS. So she's not an isolated case. It is now, I think, proven, and there's testimony to back this up. It's Hamas. We used to try to equal Hamas to ISIS, and I believe strongly that Hamas has done far worse than ISIS on October 7th. ISIS murdered people and moved on. Hamas took time in leaving a horrible scene for us to find, so it would be etched into our memory, and it would have to be celebrated as a massacre, where we would have to commemorate this event, and they would celebrate it as a successful terror event. They have etched themselves into our history through their actions. They're far worse than ISIS. They've proven it.
Anyone who celebrates October 7th needs to be executed.
All right, Steve Maman, thank you so much for joining us. Really just...
If you're saying that you're an enemy, so that's it. That's all the information we should need. Just off with your head.
Such a heartwarming story, a ray of light in all of the hard news that we've been covering, and obviously working with Fawzia and hoping that she's able to recover to the best of her ability following everything that she's endured.
Thank you again.
Oh, I hate this channel.
What?
Real physics, Jesus Christ.
Welcome to Real Physics. Today I want to talk about the proton.
I think I texted this guy when he was like anti-Trump or something. I told him, you know Putin is going to take over Europe. And he was like, you Americans are all the same, with the nonsense. Before Putin started the conquering of Ukraine. Terrible.
Radius and its fundamental implications. Now, as you might have heard, there have been measurements that show that the proton was significantly smaller than assumed before, just 0.84 femtometers, where everybody believed that it was much bigger. One interesting thing from the sociology of science is here. This was discovered in 2010, while for decades, all physicists believed that the proton was much bigger. And then when he came up with this new measurement, so everybody is now...
He always has mic issues.
during his old measurements and saying, oh no, we messed something up. The correct value is 0.84, not 0.87, as before. That's one
I mean,
thing.
today's mic is not so bad.
The second thing to mention, also a sideline, is here. I mean, that should have tremendous impact on the entire high energy physics, because I mean, particle physicists that do nothing else all day long than letting protons collide. Like, obviously, if protons are much smaller than assumed before, that should have an impact on the data analysis. But you hear nothing about that. So anyway, but who wants to understand the logic of particle physics anyway? So, but this is, as I said, also a sideline. I want to focus today on something really interesting from a fundamental point of view, and there is a coincidence. And this is very interesting. It has been noted by a couple of heterodox scientists, interestingly. And I mean, two things to mention here. Why did I insert this p over 2? Because it's fairly precise now. You can argue about this is coincidence, and I don't believe in
P over 2? Pi over 2?
neurology. Okay. But nonetheless, in any case, it remains remarkable that we have order of magnitude coincidence of h Planck's constant with c, the mass of the proton, and the radius of the proton. And this is important because the proton is the only particle for which such a relation holds. And if you think about the plethora of particles in
He's like a numerologist, always looking for all these coincidental values that, you know, this times this divided by 2 is basically h.
modern physics, I mean, that kind of gives the proton a special importance. And by the way, it's the only stable massive particle we have. So let's think about these fundamental things. Anyway,
The proton is a mess.
the reason why I made this video is because indeed the numerical coincidence
The proton is not an elementary particle. Why are you even talking about it?
is quite close. If you put the factor of p over 2 in here, and I have covered this also in another video, but I want to give it still another twist today. So let's look at it and do a little bit of calculations. Let's play with these numbers. So first of all, again, you have, if you just
Boring.
And it is, guess what? Level, a horizontal condition. So now we have a problem.
No, you see those level lines on the picture? Do you see the level line?
Equidistant is your claim.
Do you see? Do you see?
I don't give a shit.
See,
hold on.
Level,
Equidistant. When you say equidistant, equidistant from where?
Equidistant. It's a completely different word.
Yeah, from where? Yeah, equidistant means equal
Whatever you
distance
want.
from where?
From do you
Whatever you
see?
want.
Do those lines that you see on that picture look straight to you into the break?
Yeah, no, it's a cartoon. I don't
Do
give
they?
a shit.
But
What are these people talking about? Water level? They have nothing else to talk about?
Freakiest ones
I just
there
want to
is.
say shout out to Manny. Shout out to Manny. Go Sharks.
It's a 3-body problem. That's all it is. Body purses.
Hey, what's up, Snacks?
Yo. What up,
Hey,
homie?
It's been how many years now since we last talked?
Since we first embraced.
Anyway,
Yeah.
hope you're doing well.
I'll
I'm
keep trucking for
actually just waiting on
Hey.
Hello.
Elo, let me give you the link so you can join me on the StreamYards, on the Stream Yacht. Yachta. In Portuguese, you say yachta?
No, I don't know. I've never heard that word.
Hmm.
Yard in Portuguese is like camp.
No, the yacht, like a boat.
Oh, yacht.
Yacht?
Just say that. Yacht.
Yacht.
We don't say the yacht.
Mm.
Say yacht.
You're able to log in? Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you want to do?
So I was thinking we should continue watching these videos, but also we should do some physics.
Okay, we can do that for sure. What
So,
what have been your advancements since the last times?
um, so I need to write a paper how the ether model leads to the inverse square law. I need to do diagrams for that.
Okay, you don't need. Okay, we kind of established that you don't need to do that because that's widely recognized already.
The ether model leads to the inverse
No,
square law.
no. But if the ether model leads to the constancy of the speed of light, then
Mhm.
the ether model must also lead to the other one, the other
I mean,
postulate.
like people always ask me, "What's your evidence?" So there's like it's little bits of evidence.
Oh
Like
wait, no, you want the square thing. But that's just fluid mechanics. So yeah,
um,
you can do it. Yeah, sure.
yeah, I just want to.
Another thing. Have you ever considered the possibility of the ether being a solid instead of a fluid?
I started from a solid. It didn't work. It started
Why?
as a solid.
Why didn't it work?
Um,
Is it because you assume that gravity would be like a flow?
I mean, gravity. Yeah, I mean it flows. It's
Yeah, but
difficult to
the solid thing could work with like the bending of space-time, right? You could replace the
I
flow
don't
fluid
have.
by a bend,
I don't have
like Einstein
bending.
does.
I don't have bending of spacetime. I don't think I started studying GR again. I stopped with tensors. I don't think that's the correct interpretation. I need to look into it.
Okay, but I don't think we should exclude it.
I
Many
mean,
people are not like that, and it would have like no incompatibility with GR interpretation like that.
but
It would be just normal. I
if
mean,
it,
GR in a way you could interpret it as like the space-time, quote unquote space-time being the rubber sheet not being an elastic medium, being an elastic
but
solid.
why does the apple fall? Like we were looking for a mechanical
Well,
explanation.
in that model, okay, so if you have some kind of sheet that is pulled inwards, then there could be like some divergence inwards because it's being constantly pulled. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The rest of the mechanics, they're kind of hard to figure out. But the idea is that there's some kind of constant that, as you know, as the Earth goes to space, it keeps making space converge into it, and that would cause things to fall into the Earth.
No, no entiendo completamente.
What?
No, now no entiendo completamente. I completely don't understand you. How would you
Okay,
say that?
so if you have it as a solid, and that solid is elastic, and and the Earth or a massive body is constantly like pulling it towards itself, then things should just be pulled with it. It's pretty much the same thing.
How? Okay, you have an apple. How do you make the apple
The apple is
accelerate?
pulled alongside space-time, quote unquote space-time.
But there's no
Solid.
quote. Well, you cannot quote unquote. You need to provide a mechanical explanation. There's no
Okay,
quote.
the mechanical explanation is that it's being pulled towards the massive body. Now, how is it being pulled towards the massive body would be the problem, right? That
No.
would be like the true mechanical explanation. How is it being pulled? Like, what exactly is what exactly would be causing that? It would have to be like matter would have to be in some way absorbing that medium as well. It would go back to what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the question is it a liquid or a solid? And that's like what kind of state? Because it could be neither, right? Like it could be just something completely different from a liquid or a solid. It might be some kind of state of matter that we don't have a notion of.
No, I mean the only thing that obeys Gaussian flow is a fluid. The word flow and fluid, it's like
Okay, a fluid can be a gas as well.
no, cannot be compressible. If it's
So
compressible,
it's but I think there was a problem with the incompressible ether. So I'm not remembering what that problem was. But okay, let me ask ChatGPT because I think there was supposedly like a big problem with ether being an incompressible fluid.
for me, it has to be incompressible. If it's
Okay,
stretchable,
there's no for me here.
what do you mean there's no for me? So, who is this for? It's not for me.
I mean, I know it's talking about reality, so
The way I see, right? I am building a model of reality. I am building
yes,
it
but
in my.
the goal in the end is to match it with actual reality. So
Yeah, but I am building it in my mind. So for me, in my mind, the way I see things, so that it works with reality, is that it must be incompressible.
What's up, guys? Frankie Eyeballs is back because you guys keep asking me for an eye update, and some of you may have noticed already. My eyes straight because I had another surgery yesterday. That same surgery we did a video on.
Yeah, his left eye got surgery again.
Like March 21st. We had it again on the other eye, so his blood inside. She busted everything, but it should be done.
Frank, I will send the fully maculated vegan Valadi clone to you, Frankie. He's a muscular 2 meters tall and weighs 120 kilograms.
Yeah, hopefully she'll crush him with her big, thick thighs. Thanks for that donation, Charmers.
What happened? Well, this is 3 months ago. Oh.
You don't need to the rest of it. I'm not going to stuff. Everything counts. Definitely not the most important. So I can join guys. Frank is fine.
When he says that, when he used to literally be a prostitute, he's saying, "Oh, I got successful, not because of my looks." He literally was a prostitute. He admitted to being an escort, which is literally a prostitute, and he only ever had male clients.
So I can join guys. Oh. His blood inside. She busted everything, but it should be done.
Frank, I will send the fully maculated vegan Valadi clone to you, Frankie. He's a muscular 2 meters tall and weighs 120 kilograms.
Yeah, hopefully she'll crush.
Oh my god. Did you find anything?
yes, but I'm reading. Well, it actually makes some interesting sense here. Like it would have to be solid for wave propagation, sort of.
What?
Which makes sense. Yes, for transverse waves, it needs to be somewhat. It needs to have solid-like properties, but it also needs to have fluid-like properties. So it has to be like some really elastic solid. Yeah, it's a weird thing that we don't have much of a point of reference for.
What? I don't understand. Look.
Okay, for transverse wave propagation, the ether needs to be solid. The ether needs to be kind of like a solid.
Why?
Well, because transverse waves don't really propagate very well in a liquid. They can propagate in the interface between two fluids.
In the what?
Interface between two fluids. like when they're coming in contact with each other.
Two fluids?
Yeah, that's usually where how transverse waves work. Like in a
What?
fluid. Like,
What do you
for
mean?
example, between the air and water. Like,
But no, the ether is the only fluid in the universe. I don't have two fluids.
yeah, but that's but transverse waves, they generally, I don't think you can have transverse waves in one fluid.
Why not?
I don't think that works. Let me
Why
just
not?
check that. Yeah, you can't have it being compressible and not have an interface with another fluid.
What?
Because you
No,
cannot have
don't.
the ether not have an interface with the other fluid being compressible.
Wait, what other fluid?
Okay, let me finish the sentence. You can't have the ether being compressible, not have an interface with another fluid, and still support transverse waves. That doesn't work.
What do you mean it doesn't work? What doesn't work?
Well, those three conditions don't work together with each other.
You're saying you cannot have transverse waves in a fluid?
In a fluid alone that is incompressible, no, you can't.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, but even a solid is compressible in that respect, right? Because when you have
Solids are different. But I'm still not sure how this would work for solids, and not. I'm still thinking about this. I'm not sure how this work for solids.
so you can have.
Oh, it's because of the structure of the particles in the solid. Yes, they can support transverse waves. It's because of that. Yeah, that's interesting. The fluid would have yeah, fluid would have longitudinal waves, whereas a solid would have transverse waves. So the ether has to be solid-like.
Why? I don't understand why.
Because light waves are transverse waves.
Look,
So
Maxwell.
the ether has to have some kind. Wait. So the reason why solids transmit transverse waves is because they have a lattice-like structure. Lattice structure. But so therefore the ether needs to have fluid-like properties, but needs to still have a lattice structure like a solid, which should lead indeed to some kind of extremely elastic solid fluid. Solid. Yeah, some extremely elastic solid. You'd have to behave like that. So it's like neither one. This would require like some computer simulations, but I think one could. I'm beginning to imagine how it has to be. Like, I think I can imagine how it has to be. Like there has to be some structure to it, some lattice-like structure. Like it can't just. It needs to things. It's kind of like Maxwell's ether, where like the particles with the spins were like really together with each other. So it has to be either continuous or have some kind of lattice-like structure. And so, but no, it has to be like a lattice-like structure. So it has to be like that, but also be like highly compressible, highly elastic. Yeah, that's interesting. And the C would correspond to how elastic the medium is. So yeah. So, I mean, not C, but like the magnetic permeability and the electric permittivity, or I don't know which one is the permeability or permittivity.
Okay, so
They have to work somewhat like that.
okay, so Maxwell designed his equations around a fluid, the ether.
Yeah, but it's not really a fluid. Like, it can't really be a fluid.
Why not?
Well, because it would have longitudinal waves instead.
Why is that an issue?
Well, because light is a transverse wave.
Yeah, why is any type of wave an issue? I don't understand.
Because of the mechanics of the particles in a fluid versus a solid. So the ether has to be more like a solid.
Why?
Okay, because of transverse waves. Like, we've been through that. I think you need to think. I think you need to think about the topic for yourself for a bit.
I'm trying to understand. Like I'm trying to think about it. I don't see an issue. I'm trying to see where
Okay,
you.
but there is an issue. You need to just think about it for a while, and I also need to think about it to really figure this out properly.
So you're not sure that there is an issue?
No, there is definitely an issue. The question is how it would look like after we resolve the issue.
I don't understand the issue.
Well, the issue is liquids that are incompressible don't have transverse waves. They just don't. And solids really don't generally support. Actually, no, the solids cannot really support. Can a solid support a longitudinal wave? That would be weird. That would be weird. Okay, solids can support longitudinal waves as well. Wait, but they would have to be very elastic. Right? Oh, yes. Yes, if a solid is very elastic, it can support longitudinal waves. So I maybe see this the other way around. So the ether would have to be a solid that's not elastic. That's weird.
So is there a problem or isn't there a problem?
Definitely is a problem, and there's more than one problem. So even the interpretation of it being elastic, probably not elastic at all. Probably very inelastic solid. So it's more like an incompressible solid, which is even more weird.
So in general,
you have like an incompressible solid. Unless, of course, longitudinal waves are possible, and we don't know about it.
okay, let me just say something.
I don't think we know enough to go further on this.
Can I just say something?
Yes, you can, of course.
Okay. So, I think when you say incompressible fluid or incompressible solid, it still allows for waves to go through it.
Yes, it allows for waves to go through it, but like if we talk, we have to distinguish a fluid from a solid here, right? Like a fluid, the particles, they kind of just bump with each other and they just come around and and go here, go there. In a solid, they are stationary, right? In relation to the wall. So what I mean by it has to be like a solid, it means that the particles need to be stationary.
Why?
Okay, because otherwise we wouldn't see transverse waves.
Why? Why do you say that?
Because in a liquid, if you make like a perturbation, what would happen is that the various particles will just come together and just go apart, and come together and go apart. And that's longitudinal wave. Transverse wave is like there's some motion towards like in a certain direction, like there's a perturbation, there's a motion to a certain direction, then that motion just propagates. So it's not really, you could still see it as some kind of longitudinal behavior, but generally speaking, if there is no elasticity, you do not get that longitudinal behavior. And if we have mostly transverse waves in the ether, then it should be more like a solid, in the sense that the particles wouldn't just be flowing freely; they would be mostly stationary. And that makes more sense, because if you think about the Maxwell's equations, if there is indeed that consistency, then the ether shouldn't really be a liquid; it should be more like a solid.
Okay, 1 second. Hold on.
Okay.
You gotta let me talk a little bit, because like
Okay,
you're going on monologue. So I don't see the issue why the ether fluid should have, if it's able to allow any type of wave to go through, a compression wave.
No, that's the problem. Like,
1 second, 1 second.
it
Let me
only
just
allow.
let me just finish. Just 1 second. So if you allow the ether, like let's say water, if you allow, like, so you have, like, we all agree water is incompressible, right? In general, you agree with that?
Yeah, water is supposedly an incompressible fluid.
Okay, hold on. So, but you agree that we have sound waves in water, right?
Yes, but I think sound waves in water are supposedly longitudinal.
I thought they're just compression waves.
And I mean, they're compression waves as well. But
I mean,
there's a difference between
if I take
Okay, we should watch a video about longitudinal and transverse waves, don't you think?
I don't even see a reason why. I mean,
why not?
Because if you want, I'll explain to you how I see things. I don't see an issue.
Fine.
So
No,
if you want, I'll tell you how I feel, and you can try and find where I am missing something. But it's really straightforward. Let's take water. We all agree water is incompressible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no?
Yeah.
Okay. And we all agree sound waves go through water, right?
Yes, but they're supposedly longitudinal waves.
Hold on. So let's test it. So I'm going to take two rocks and smash them against each other to create noise in the water. So you agree that when I bang two things against each other, I'm just creating a compression wave, right?
Yes, but there are various types of waves.
No, I'm just taking two rocks and smashing them against each other. A tiny compression wave, ultra compression wave is created exactly at that location where the two rocks smash against each other. And that noise cannot be anything but a compression wave.
Okay, sure. I mean, compression wave is like, you don't need to say it. Like, a wave already requires that.
What? No.
I mean, yeah, you could model other things as waves.
What?
Yeah, sure. No, sure. Go ahead. That's not. I'm being irrelevant here.
Okay. So we now agree that water is a fluid defined, agreed as incompressible, yet we all agree that under the definition of incompressible, it does allow for the transmission of compression waves. This is, when we say an incompressible fluid, we still mean that it allows for the transmission of compression waves. Agreed?
Yeah, that's a weird thing.
What?
That's a weird thing that we need to think about, indeed.
Yeah, but you could say that it's because compression wave always is followed by a depression wave. There's compression, depression, compression, depression. So in the local region, nothing has changed. It's not like you're changing the entire ocean. Or the ocean is relatively incompressible. Everything is relative. So are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm just thinking about this.
Okay. It's a good thing to think about. I mean, after all, saying that water is incompressible, that's just us saying.
Yeah.
Well, it's in general, water seems incompressible. But in general, we know that compression waves, we allow, under the definition of incompressible water, we allow for the definition of compression waves to go through. It's just definitions.
Yeah,
So
it's better language.
it's just language. So for the same reason that compression waves can go through water, there's no reason why other types of waves should not be able to go through, like transverse or longitudinal, or if there's any other type of wave. There's no reason why they should have a hard time going through. Water has some flexibility. And the same thing goes for the ether. The ether is incompressible, but it does allow for Maxwell waves and for gravitational waves. By the way, gravitational waves are compression waves. So it allows for waves, even though in general it's not compressible. Because in general, if it were compressible, then gravity would become unreliable. Like if it's compressible, it could sometimes stretch and deform, and gravity would be unpredictable. I don't want that. That's not what we experience gravity to behave like. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, I also started writing a paper, Ether Black Holes. It should be modified to how the gravitational ether allows for Newtonian black holes.
Oh, it's because transverse waves are made by shear forces. So I see. So it's basically like when you hit a rock, like instead of having like it's basically a difference between eating a rock and eating water. Like if you eat a rock, like it doesn't move, it resists, and you pass a vibration. But when you eat water, it doesn't really work very well. It just flows.
Heat?
Eat like
Hit?
punch. Hit like punch the water.
HIT, Americans, they say hit, and H, hit. Yeah, it's like,
yes.
It's like somebody's hitting you in the chest. And
yeah, I see. That's that kind of hit.
I thought in the beginning, I thought you were saying eat water, like for lunch. Like if you're hungry, you can eat water. And then I said, no, maybe he's saying heat.
Yeah, we don't use the in Portuguese, so I always forget it.
No, it's everywhere in the
The
world.
Spanish use it all the time, but we don't use it at all. Yeah, I think they learn from the Arabs. I don't know, maybe not.
So they found a Yazidi girl in Gaza.
Yazidi. Yazidis are like they kind of a rare ethnicity, right?
What's up, guys?
But what does that have to do with anything?
No, it's crazy. It's Israel.
Why?
Israel
We
created.
are turning to another story.
But it's like, why did she go to Gaza?
She was kidnapped.
Oh, she was kidnapped.
The Gazan Hamas, they bought her from the, what do you call the,
Gaza Strip, something that is really just remarkable. A 21-year-old Yazidi woman has been rescued from the Gaza Strip, where she had been held captive by Hamas for years after being trafficked.
she was trafficked at the age of 11 in Israel. This is through Israel, because there's no entryway into Gaza except for through Israel.
Yeah,
by
that is
ISIS.
true.
Fauzia,
So she
No,
was
there's a frontier with Egypt, actually. Or not?
no, but there's no entry. There is.
Yeah.
It's completely sealed, unless maybe underground. Yeah, could be like in the tunnels underground.
Yeah, or
So she
could,
was
could it be through the sea? But they should control the sea.
no. Israel blockades, but so
Yeah,
she was
but I mean,
kidnapped.
she passed, so it's weird.
No, she's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's strange. It's like they allow it.
No, but the leftists, they're pro-Gaza. Free Palestine, free Palestine. But here, this is what they do when you let them free. This is what they do. They kidnap little
but
girls.
that's not the question. Like, the reason why the region is like that, it's because Israel disturbed the region. So, of course, then criminals take over.
What do you mean Israel disturbed? That's like saying the U.S. disturbed the planet. Well, that
Yeah,
doesn't
well,
mean
that's not wrong either. But
no. That's like saying the Earth disturbed the universe. That doesn't mean
yeah,
anything.
okay, I can. Well, it's very simple. Like the invaders are Israel. That's
That doesn't mean anything.
no, that means something.
No, it doesn't.
No, that
Like
definitely means something. You
this
just not trying to
universe,
make any meaning of it.
this universe invaded the vacuum. This universe is an invader.
Okay, I'm
That's
not
it.
talking about the universe. I'm talking about a very simple situation where
No, it doesn't mean
some
anything.
people were living in one place and other people wanted to take over that place, and they did that.
That doesn't mean anything. I
No,
don't
that
care.
that means something very specific. That no, you cannot accuse that of not meaning anything. That's just not it.
That doesn't mean anything. So
No, it means something. It means
okay.
what I said.
So somebody lives somewhere. That's it. That's the end all
Somebody
and be
lives
all.
somewhere, and someone else comes and takes that property.
No, but let's say he doesn't. So, okay, so you agree that if somebody lives somewhere, then somebody can come and buy that property from them,
No,
right?
take that property by force.
No, but you
Because
agree okay, so now you are adding information to do,
No, I'm not
right?
adding information. That's my point. From
You're
the
moving,
beginning. I said
you're
take.
moving, you're moving.
No, I'm not moving anything. I said take
Hold-
from the beginning. I
hold-
didn't
yeah,
say buy.
hold.
I said take.
You said invaders. So I
Okay,
don't.
said
So
invade and I said take property.
okay,
So
but you agree. Okay, but you agree. Let's assume the Jews came to the Middle East and only bought land. Then you agree that
No, I don't agree with that at all.
Wait, hold on. Let's assume.
I know what you're going to say. I don't. I would not agree with.
Wait. Hold on. Let's assume. Let's have a hypothetical that the Jews came to the Middle East and they only bought land from the Arabs. Then you agree that they're not invaders, right?
No.
Yes or no? No, you don't agree.
Absolutely not. Like there is nothing. There is no reason to agree with that.
No, this is a hypothetical. So
yes, but I don't agree. I don't agree with the conclusion. It's that
okay,
simple.
let's start over. Let me just.
No, I understood it very well. I don't think you're quite conceiving why I don't agree with it. I think that's the issue.
Go on.
I don't think that in any way, shape, or form do I think that simply buying property would one, not make you an invader, would two, legitimize things in some kind of moral high ground way, because there are many issues with like buying property. Like for example, imagine imagine you have you have the situation that existed in Palestine during that time, where you have like large landlords that own basically the land there, supposedly on the land there, but there are families living in the land that have been living there for thousands, that have been of people who have been living there for thousands of years. They just simply don't own the land on paper. And then so the Jews come, they buy that land, they expel everyone. That's still not moral. It's allowed legally, but it's still not moral, and it's still invading another country because they're doing so with the intention of forming a country inside that country. So it's still an invasion.
Hmm.
Okay, so hopefully that was clear.
Okay.
And that's not exactly all that the Jews did. Like they did a lot more than that. A lot less moral things than that. They literally just expelled people from their homes at some point. They just started doing that instead of buying. When they couldn't buy anymore, they just started expelling people.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's definitely not a very defensible thing. And the reason why the old thing is the way it is, it's because they did that, and then they funded Hamas, which is well documented, well registered, that they funded Hamas to be like a violent opposition to them, so they could then justify keep doing that to their own citizens and to the world.
Yeah, that I agree with. That's
No,
completely.
you don't have to agree or disagree. That's just the truth.
Yeah.
And what I said first, however, you could like have an opinion. Oh, it's they bought, it's fine, but no, like you have to see the conditions in which they bought it and the intention, and basically you just have to see the context. And when you see the context, you will say, oh no, they were definitely intending to create another country, and they definitely exploited a situation that was not fair or not moral at all. And of course that doesn't make them the good guys in any way. That's definitely the case. Okay, so what else?
Let's let me so there is this okay, so I have this paper that I need to write. I started doing it, like here are the equations. And this is my Newtonian black hole, so I can reach, this is Schwarzschild radius that is derivable directly from.
Wait, you can derive the Schwarzschild radius with Gaussian flow?
Well,
That would be
this
cool.
is from Newton. You can derive Newton from Gauss. Newton is derivable from Gauss. Lenny Susskind derives Newton from Gauss in his intro to GR, I think second or.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and that's why I have a paper, how the gravitational ether model leads to the inverse square law. I want to write a paper.
Yeah, it's interesting
Based.
because it's really true that the ether must have like fluid properties and must have solid properties. Yeah, it's gotta be like some kind of weird thing that we don't have a lot of references for.
Wait, what?
The ether must have fluid and solid properties.
Why do you need solid?
Because it must be organized like a solid and it must resist shear forces in some way.
Why?
Kind of like a solid.
Why?
Because of transverse waves. Like it must be able to transmit transverse waves. Because otherwise, like if you would perturb it, it would just flow, and you don't want it to flow. You want it to be put. You want to be able to push it, to compress it in some way, but you don't want it to just flow freely. You want it to like have a structure and maintain that structure.
Oh, so you're saying, that's a good point. So you're saying
I'm starting to like get the idea that I was trying to build before.
So you're saying any shear wave cannot work in a fluid.
Yes. So for light to exist to be like something like that just impacts the medium and propagates transversally, it needs to be kind of like a solid. It must maintain its structure.
So I would push back against that. I would say, like when you have a shear motion, which means it's transverse relative to the direction of the propagation of energy. So when you push up, let's say I'm pushing right, the wave is going straight. Let's draw this.
It's not about pushing up.
Behold. Oh, yeah, you can see my screen. So behold, this is going to be transverse waves. Transverse waves in fluid ether. Mm-hmm. Do you have to go? Do you have to go to sleep soon?
I have to go to have a shower even. So maybe like a few more minutes here.
Yeah, let's just do this final thing. So, look, this is you have to imagine an infinite pool. It's like an infinite ocean. And so let's say I have this particle and I expect to cause a propagation in this direction, propagation of energy. But what I do is I move the particle up. Okay, I just move it up. So I created disturbance up, and this disturbance now.
No, it's not always up. Like that's the difference between a solid and a liquid. If you create a disturbance up in a liquid, it would just disperse to every place, right? Like it just disperse.
Let's just
fine. That's further ahead.
yeah,
That's further ahead.
yeah. So I took the particle, I just moved it up. So I created disturbance of particles up that right forever. This is now going to, this disturbance will go in both directions, but always up. So right from the top view.
But it's kind of like you imagine like like snooker balls. Imagine something like that. Like it's gonna eat balls in all directions, and it's just gonna like disperse. It's not gonna be like this thing that just goes up and then.
Yeah. I agree. Look, the ether waves, especially when it comes to a photon and an electron, they behave like wave packets. I don't know how they do this. This seems to be something about the ether. It always creates wave packets or packets of waves. The waves don't just disperse. They're always directed. They always have momentum, and they have localization. They have what we call delta X and delta P, and it's always they maintain it. They maintain some region of space and some momentum. So from the top view, right, it's you're getting some sort of like a ripple effect. So right, but this is shear. This is a shear wave, and this is basically electricity. So when an electron moves, this is the wave, and this is exactly as Maxwell described it. This is just Maxwell, and this causes.
Yeah, what if an electron is like just the medium in a liquid state?
What's what?
It's like the medium in a liquid state.
The medium?
Yeah, the ether in a liquid state, in a different state.
No, it can't be. It's a
Could be.
wave in the ether, but it's not a regular wave because you also have perpendicular to it, you have the magnetic wave, but they're different. It's not. It's. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, I don't think Maxwell is a complete description. I think it's like because we know photons have spin, so each packet right now it's not like this. It's not. It's little packets of energy. It's not the. It's many little packets of energy that are moving. It's not really a single wave front. They behave maybe like a single wave front, but each one of them, I think, has its own delta x, delta p. Each one of them has momentum, so that when they interact with an electron, they like one of these, a single one can interact with an electron and bump it out of its atom, out of the shell, like completely get rid of it and create a free electron. So you could say that this is a bunch of these. Well, it's together. They always, like a photon is both. This is a photon.
I see. But that doesn't really, it doesn't help that much.
Look, in reality,
I'm convinced now that it needs to maintain some sort of structure to have those properties.
Look,
even like the wavelet properties and all of that should maintain some sort of structure.
I don't know. I mean, I started from solid. In the beginning, I was convinced it's a solid, and
Not like it's not really. It's got to not really be a solid. It's a little bit different. But one thing I would like to understand is if it wouldn't be possible to have longitudinal waves in the ether, because according to Dollard, for example, have you ever heard of Eric Dollard?
No.
He's an electrical engineer that does basically independent research on physics.
What's his name?
Eric Dollard. He's still alive. You could probably contact him if you want. Dollard with it exactly. That's it. Yeah, it's very old now.
It'll take me a little while to warm up to this because I've done it for a long time. So the publication was the Tesla and Alexanderson system of radio. So I'm going to work on that, and I got to work my way out. So radio.
This is in the classroom.
Did you bring my book, George? It's right here. No, a big one. All the pictures in it.
Is this in a classroom?
That has all the pictures.
It looks like a classroom. I mean, it looks like
it could be a classroom, but I don't think it's.
Magnetism was being weakened. Heavy side used iron wire or magnetic tape in the cable.
Heaviside is the guy that wrote Maxwell the way we know it.
Yeah.
To raise the magnetism to the point where it should have been, two dissipations were equal, and then all of a sudden, all the signals came perfectly clear out of the other end of the line. And this was just simply unacceptable to the Royal Society in London and the people who were running the telegraph business. So they just hounded him right down into the ground. It's electrified state, and it has dimensions. Because everything we're dealing with is dimensions. We have dimensions of time, we have dimensions of magnetism. These are what are called dimensions. So it turns out today the dimensions of this are defined by something called Planck's constant. In other words, this quantity can only exist in integral multiples, which gives further justification to the lines of force theory, because the lines of force have definite size in some dimension. So the electricity can only exist in steps of these dimensions because electricity is made out of lines of force. So I can't have 1 and 56 units of electrical induction because it's got to be some kind of, how would you say, like a whole number. It's got to be in these steps, the whole number being Planck's constant. If we
integral.
Make that, a constant or number, just make it 1 in our equation. That's what Steinmetz did in order to make his 24-page equations into a little one-line algebraic relationship. All Steinmetz did, instead of giving the waves in velocity, he gave light seconds. And once he used light seconds in the equations, Okay, Marconi robbed Tesla
This is
and came up with
11
a
years
completely.
ago, and he's like 80 years old.
Yeah.
Already. Something. Yeah, that's him 1 year ago. Damn, he's
Eric Dollard?
dying.
Wait, he only has 314 subscribers. How is this
Like, that's
possible?
the Book of Love Productions.
Actually, Eric
I
P.
don't
Dollard,
think that-
Maxwell equation, Heaviside Maxwell equation. And then tomorrow will be another presentation, which is the Steinmetz Fortescue mathematics. Yeah, they would have to be broken into much smaller sections. Because basically, it kind of goes along with the aesthetic, sick mentality of the people that are perpetrating it. Because their lives are carnivals. Like volume stuff is what's flowing through the power lines. Our technology is an electromagnetic technology. So electromagnetism has been latched onto by the academians and the Einsteiners and all that, and turned into a bunch of romantic gobbledygook that makes everybody feel important because nobody can understand it, and it's of absolutely no use to electrical engineers, and it's completely useless in teaching beginners the phenomenon of electricity and how to engineer it, because it just confuses and misrepresents and distorts. It doesn't assist. It actually is inimical to the understanding. So I'm turning all that around so that you can get an idea, or the student or the engineer or what have you, can get a better grasp of how things work and how to engineer it without having to go to a computer model and get.
I don't know. I don't like these introductions that are so conspiratorial. It gives me
No, you
conspiracy.
don't like people who try to be kind of aggressive in the way they approach things. It's just normal. Like, some people do that, other people don't.
But I'm the most conspiratorial in the world, and I'm not.
No, you're not.
I'm very conspiratorial, but
Yeah, really.
I mean, you see, I'm trying to depose Einstein. So
But
that's
you're not
pretty
being conspiratorial about it.
right. There's no like, for me, everything I can explain everything organically. I don't need
No, you shouldn't do that either. Like, that's not. No, it's not. You don't want to go all on one side or all on the other side.
No, in general, there's no conspiracies. In general, like,
No, that's not true. No, that's not.
you
true.
think in general?
Look at governments. Governments conspire all the time. Like, that's. It depends. Usually in life, what sometimes seems a conspiracy is just like incentives being not right, and people acting according to those incentives. But in other things, especially at the level of military and government and so on, people do indeed conspire at those levels. There's not really much to dispute there. Look at, for example, what the Israeli government did with funding Hamas. That's clearly a conspiracy.
But that was headlines. Everyone knew it was taking place. No one, and when you talk to people, no one is denying it, and everybody thinks
there were many people denying it at the time, I'm sure.
It's headline news.
Maybe now no one's denying it, but
it's in the headlines. It's always been. Every time the Israeli,
I'm not entirely sure about that. It's always been.
as far as I know, it's always been in the headlines. You know what? I wanted to talk
Are
to
you
you.
saying there are no conspiracies that happen in secret?
I'm saying in general, there's no conspiracies. In general,
I'm not convinced of that at all. There's so much stuff. Like, for example, have you ever traded or something?
Of course.
Yeah, so you know that certain markets are highly manipulated.
No, of course that's
No.
impossible. No.
Okay, so you never understood a lot of things in trading, I guess.
Like what?
No, the markets are very manipulated.
What's your evidence?
Have you ever traded crypto, for example?
Wait, what's your evidence?
My evidence. If you ever, okay, let me just answer the question. Have you ever traded crypto?
Of course.
Yeah, and you don't think the market is manipulated?
I don't think so, but I'm open to hear your.
Well, that's it's a good thing, because there was a video released today about that by a nice channel. I'll send you the video. And it explains it better than I can explain it. That's for
manipulated.
The market
Manipulate
in crypto is extremely manipulated. I don't know how you traded crypto and did not notice. Like, it's so awful.
manipulated by whom? Who is
By the exchanges and market makers.
so
Like,
you're
there
saying
was even a study that said that like 80% of trading on exchanges was wash trading.
was what trading?
Wash trading.
What does that mean?
That means basically fake trading, like bots trading with each other to make it appear that there is some kind of trading activity going on.
Oh, but you could do that too. No one's stopping you.
No, you can't, because you don't have enough resources.
But
I'm not talking about normal trading bots. I'm talking about bots made for the purpose of just exchanging things to like give the idea that that there's something going on in the market that actually isn't. And they also found in that study, they found a lot of spoof trading, which I mean, if you traded crypto and you didn't find spoof trading, is very strange, because
but
you're really not paying attention. Because
I
like
would
it's so spoofs in crypto are so obvious. It's
hold on.
stupid. Like,
Wait,
if
hold
you
on.
have you ever taken a look at an order book in crypto?
Wait, hold on. You have a tendency to go into monologue, so hold on.
Okay, I do.
So I don't deny that you could have whales faking trades
It's
and
not the
doing
whales. It's not the whales. That
fine.
nothing to do with that.
Fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
watch this video later. I'll put it on the slideshow.
fine. Look, I mean,
It explains how they do it.
wait, wait. Hold on. So, as far as I know, there's not, I mean, there isn't any, in general, there's no manipulation of anything in the world, in general.
But how do you know that?
Because I watch YouTube and when there is a rug pull or when there is some event in the markets, it's headline news. It's all
No,
over.
it's not necessarily.
No,
Like, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Like, spoofing in crypto has been going on forever, and I think people are only starting to talk about it right now. Like, I guess there were some people talking about it before, but
I don't understand. Like when
you
you
know what
let's take,
spoofing is, first of all, or not? You don't know what spoofing is?
I mean, let's assume I don't. What's your definition of spoofing in
Spoofing
crypto?
means you place orders on the order book that are very large to give to give the idea for to try to make other traders place orders there, or or trade in a different way, and then you remove those orders. That's illegal, by the way, but in the crypto market that happens all the time, and it's very clear that the exchanges are doing the spoofing so they can deceive traders.
Let's
There are all sorts of short patterns as well that you could
okay.
that
Hold
you
on.
yeah, you can like look at an order book and look at the chart, and another order book evolves and the chart evolves, and you can see the spoofing, because when
Hold on.
the no, but let me explain how you see it.
No.
When the price
No.
gets near it, the
No.
order book
No.
it's
No.
programmed.
No. No. You go into monologues. It's very
Okay.
difficult like this. I have no idea what you're talking about. So what's your evidence? Look, I'll say it again. Here's my contention. In general, there's no conspiracies. There's
Okay,
no
but in
crime.
general, really doesn't mean much.
Okay, so I don't know what to tell you because right you're arguing that there is something. I'm not arguing. Hold on. I'm not arguing that what you're saying does not exist at all ever. Period. I'm not arguing that. So actually, we don't have a disagreement. Rather, you think maybe you would say there is a lot, and I would say there is a little. Now,
Yes, and I'm trying to convince
hold
you that
on,
I'm right about there being a
hold
lot.
on, hold on. So when you say a lot and I say a little, again, it could be that we completely agree on the actual numbers. So the question is, right? So I don't know if we have a disagreement. Hold on. Now, of course, right? We're both scientists, so we both agree on the data. I don't think that my source of data is the YouTube channels that discuss conspiracies and discuss crimes and discuss crypto. I'm always listening to these channels. I'm subscribed to a bunch of channels, and whenever things come up, I'm aware of it. And as far as I know, there's very few cases where it happens. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I'm saying you have the wrong idea.
So, okay, but we don't know if you really think that I'm wrong, because we don't.
I'm pretty sure that you're getting it wrong, because in the crypto market, it's really common. Like, it's just all over the place.
Okay. That doesn't help us, because it might be that we completely agree on the numbers. When you say it's prevalent, and I'm saying it's barely there, it could be that we actually agree on the numbers, but you consider.
Okay, but okay, then define your barely there. Like, how often, for each trade, for each trade that happens in the crypto market, how many, what's the percentage of, what's the probability of it being fraudulent?
So what's the definition of fraudulent? So let's talk about Bitcoin. So I'm not aware of any issues, any running issues right now with Bitcoin. So as far as I know, Bitcoin is a stable coin. There's no fraud.
I'm not quite stable.
What?
For sure. I mean, stable is a bit of an overstatement. It's stable. It's more stable than it used to be. That's for sure.
Again, look, we might agree on the numbers, so it doesn't make any sense to claim that there is a disagreement.
Yes. Okay. So you think
I
there are no
claim
issues with Bitcoin trading, right?
you're welcome to show me a case, let's say from today, from the last 24 hours. Would you say there is a case in the last 24 hours of
You can probably log in Binance and check the order book, and I'll tell you a case. That's how prevalent it is.
No. I'm asking you. Just what do you
I
think?
haven't been trading in the past 24 hours. I can tell you.
So past 1 week, 1 month, 1 year,
I haven't been actively trading.
10 years, whatever.
I can't. Oh, if you go 1 year, I would have hundreds of them.
So there's hundreds of what? Let's say in a year, in the
Spoof
past.
trading, for example, it's always there.
Wait. So you would say that in the past year there was what? What did you say?
Spoof trading, for example.
Hold. Just let's go with spoof trading. So you said that spoof trading is what?
Spoof trading is placing an order on the order book that you don't actually want to realize that order. You're just deceiving other traders into trading.
Okay, but how do you know? What do you mean that you want? How do you know that somebody canceled? Like, how do you know?
Because it's a behavior. Because it's a consistent behavior. You can look at orders, very large orders being placed, and those, when the price comes near those levels, those orders are taken out. And often are reversed as well. And this is behavior that is programmed.
This is behavior that is programmed. Okay. And you feel that this is fraud?
Oh, this is considered legally fraud. Yes.
What do you mean it's considered legally fraud?
means that you cannot do it in a market that is regulated. In an
Okay.
unregulated market, you can do it because the regulators aren't really there to
Okay.
enforce it. But
Okay.
if you have
Hold
a
on.
registered regulated market, you cannot do this. This is
Okay.
wrong
Okay. Okay.
because it's considered like.
Okay. Okay.
Because,
Doesn't matter.
no, but let me explain why.
No. Please don't. It's not important. Please don't. I don't want to. I'm trying to nail down a disagreement, and this is not a disagreement. So we both. Okay. Look, it's legal. There's nothing illegal about it. So I don't see the issue. The fact that you don't like it, so
No, it's
don't
not the
trade.
fact that I don't like it. It's like it is actually fraud. Like it's just not being paid attention to by the authorities.
Look, this is
That's the
just.
only difference. Like the
Hold on.
market is not, is not being watched over in any way.
Hold on. Look, I personally don't care. You personally, you might care. So
No, I've learned to live. I've learned that it's just a thing that is there.
exactly. So I don't care. I personally don't care. Whatever is legal, I don't care. If it's illegal, then and it's illegal. But as far as I understand from what you're telling me, it's 100% legal. So I don't care. So it sounds like you care, or you're saying now you also don't care. So I don't know. So again, this goes back to my primary contention.
Well,
There's
it's
no.
deceptive behavior. That's really what we're talking about.
Wait, hold on. Look, you said that in general there are conspiracies. I said that in general there is no conspiracy. So we finally arrived at a very, very particular, right? This was the discussion called conspiracy. Are there conspiracies? So you think that these fake sales are, I don't know what at this point. So we conclude that we agree that it's 100% legal.
No, it's not 100% legal.
Okay, so we disagree. Fine. I think
I mean,
from
it's
what.
like a gray area. It's more like
No,
like
it's
if
not.
they were, because those exchanges aren't really registered with the SEC.
So it's not
They should
gray.
be. They should be
It's
because
not.
they're trading securities, but it's a complicated matter.
Look, then
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm fine with it. I'm a
Okay.
hundred.
Okay. I mean, we can go on more examples, but
No. I know. No, I don't. Look, when I allow when I try to understand something, I assume what you gave me is the first thing that's popped into your mind, and that's the most. I am assuming this was a good example. And
No,
it's
this wasn't actually
okay. It's
necessarily a
fine.
good example.
It's fine. Look, I think you see where I'm going. You're going to
Yeah.
have. Hold on. You're going to have a very difficult time convincing me that there is any conspiracy in the world. So
Really?
you
What about,
see.
for example, the first thing that was called a conspiracy theory? We could talk about that.
Hold on. Look, you saw how I dealt with these spoof purchases. You saw how I dealt with it. You
Okay.
saw that's how I'm going to deal with anything you'll bring up. I'll always
Okay,
ask
so
you.
if I bring up Kennedy's assassination, you'll say you're okay with it?
I don't know. I don't remember at this point. Yeah, Kennedy was assassinated. What's the question?
Yeah, I was assassinated by the CIA.
No,
And then they covered it up.
no, he was assassinated by a communist.
No.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
God. No.
Yes.
Oswald that's not in dispute right now. Oswald was a double agent.
No, he was just a
Yes, Oswald
communist.
was a double agent. He worked for the
No,
CIA.
no,
Yes,
no.
was.
No, he
No,
was a
no,
he
don't
was a
know me here.
he was
Oswald
a
was. No,
okay, fine. Okay,
not
look,
true.
fine. Again, I told you. You're not going to convince me of any conspiracy. You're not. There's very
No,
few.
look, this is not convincing you of any conspiracy. I'm telling you a fact. That's different.
I've heard, trust me, I've heard enough about the
No,
Kennedy
you
assassination.
have not heard enough because you told me
I've
he was a communist.
I
That's
have
completely
heard
wrong.
all my life. I've heard conspiracies about the Kennedy assassination. You're
No,
not.
it's not a
It,
conspiracy about the Kennedy assassination. It is confirmed.
okay, look,
It's
I
true.
heard. I heard everyone say everything, and you see how I react. It
Yes, you
was.
react by saying
Hold on.
bullshit.
Hold on.
That's
Hold
what you
on.
did right now.
Hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
It was. Hold on. It was just a communist
No,
murder.
it was not.
Okay,
Don't
you're
say
not.
stuff
Look,
that is
but look.
completely
Okay,
ridiculous.
listen. Okay, listen. But you see. I warned you. That's how I will answer. Basically, everything that you
So
will
you
call.
will answer
Hold
with
on.
things that are false.
Hold
Right?
on. Hold on. I'm warning you. That's just a warning. Like any conspiracy you will bring up, most likely I will tell you it was not a conspiracy. It was organic.
Okay, you're wrong. And I've just
It
proven you
doesn't
wrong.
matter. I'm not going. The
No, it
point
matters.
is,
I've just proven you wrong, so I win the debate. It's
we're
done.
not here to win debates.
I am.
I'm.
I am now.
I'll give you the gold star. You win every debate. That's not why we're here. The point is, I don't feel that there's any conspiracies in the
Okay,
world.
and I've just showed that you have a wrong view on things. Okay, that's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Like
Let's
that
get.
you are interpreting things as organic that are actual conspiracies. I've just shown you that.
I agree. What
Okay, fine.
usually.
Then you
Hold on.
agree that I'm right. Okay, good.
No.
And we can move
No.
on to another
No.
topic.
No. I said what usually you hear people interpret as a conspiracy. I usually interpret as organic. Usually.
Okay, and but who cares about usually? Are you right or are you wrong?
What do you mean? Statistically speaking, every conspiracy I've come across ended up being organic.
No,
Statistically,
what it seems to be the case is that you haven't really looked into them. Clearly, like you said that Oswald was
that's
a communist when Oswald was a double agent, and that's confirmed. So you clearly
that's
haven't looked into that.
okay. You keep using a logical fallacy.
No, I do not keep using a logical fallacy.
You are referencing me, so we're not.
No, because we're talking about you, so it's not a logical fallacy if I reference you when
It's
we're talking about you.
look
No,
again.
that's not how fallacies work at all.
Hold on.
That's
Oh, look.
completely wrong.
Okay, look. The reason I am talking to you is in order for you to cross-examine my theory about the universe. So
Okay.
you can say anything you want to cross-examine, to criticize my theories about the
No,
universe.
but wait a minute. You made you made a statement about you. You said I look at things this way. Then I can criticize. Then I can criticize you. And it's no longer a fallacy to criticize you.
No. I'm not
No,
interested.
it is because you set
No.
it up as a subjective position. So now I
No,
can
no.
criticize you.
I'm not
That's how
in.
it works. It's
No,
exactly how
no,
it works.
no. I'm not
You didn't
interested.
set it as a position about the world. You set it as a position about yourself. So now I
I'm
can
not.
criticize you.
Okay, I'm not. You can do whatever you want. You're a free person. I'm not interested.
I'm saying it's not a fallacy to criticize you in this condition.
I am not interested in anything you have to say about me. I'm only interested if you have valid criticism about theories that I present.
Okay, so you present the theory that Oswald was a communist. I have the valid criticism that it has been confirmed that he was a double agent.
That's fine. Okay. You can present. That's fine. You can present your theory, but when you tell me that I need to go study, that's an ad hominem. Then I'm not interested.
No, it's not an ad hominem. No, that's not. No, wait. That's not an ad hominem.
I'm not interested in that. It's not interesting to me. It's boring. I don't want to talk about me.
Okay, but we were talking if you're right or wrong, not if you're bored or not.
No, I'm not interested in talking
Okay, if you're not
about
interested,
me.
then don't talk about it as if you write about it, right? Like,
I'm not. Look, I'm presenting to you how I feel, and you can
all right.
criticize. And you can criticize.
If you're presenting to me how you feel, then I can criticize you because it's a subjective thing.
No, I'm not
Yes, that's how
interested.
it
No,
works.
no. I'm not interested in the discussion about
Okay,
me.
then
Definitely.
okay, look, let's be clear. Are you presenting this as a position of a fact, in
Whatever
which case
I'm.
you're wrong?
Look.
Wait,
Okay. Let's
wait,
start.
let me finish. Let me finish
No,
this.
no, no, no. I'll
No,
help
let me
you.
finish this one. Let
No,
me
you don't
so
have
we
to.
can clear this.
I'll give you the rule. You don't have to. I'll give you the rule. The
Okay,
rule
fine.
is before anything, I'm interested in having fun.
Okay, fine.
That's before anything. Now, in order to have fun, I am curious about the world. Being curious about the world is for me fun. Now,
Okay.
if during my curiosity and my investigations I end up getting upset, then that's not good for the first rule because I'm supposed to be happy. I'm not here to
Okay.
be unhappy.
So
So
in that case,
so whatever you do, and I tell you I'm not interested in that, then I'm unhappy. I'm not interested in that. So that
okay.
overrules. I'm not interested. So that overrules everything because
Okay,
the
but that doesn't matter to me, right? Like that's
no,
your
the
that's your subjective position. I don't have anything to do with your subjective position. If you're gonna
no,
claim something as a fact, then
no, no, no,
I'm going to criticize
no,
two things.
no,
I'm
no,
going to
no, no,
criticize
no,
that
no,
you're
no, no, you
wrong, and
no,
second,
no.
that
No,
you're
no,
not
no,
acting as you should.
no, 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 no. Look, when I tell you the most important thing is for me to have fun, that
Okay,
means if
that's
I'm
for
not,
you.
hold on, that means if I'm not having fun, if I'm unhappy, I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to be where I'm unhappy.
All
I'm
right,
not
that's
interested.
fine. But then why did you talk about something that you're unhappy about? Like
No, I'm not. I didn't say that. No,
you
I can.
started talking about conspiracies. If you're
Yeah,
unhappy when
I love
talking about
talking.
conspiracies,
I love talking about conspiracy, but I don't like talking about me. So as soon as the topic
oh, okay,
switches,
I see. I see. Okay, fine. I wasn't understanding that part. So your problem is me talking about you. Okay, fine.
yeah,
I can oblige to that.
okay.
Okay, but still, like the the idea that Oswald was a communist has been debunked for like ages at this point. Like
Okay.
literally, like tons of people came out saying that they worked with him, that they knew he was a double agent, that it has been confirmed with his papers that he defected to the Soviet Union, but then was accepted back in the United States without
Okay.
any sort of
Listen.
penalty,
Okay. Look,
which means he was a double
I've
agent,
heard enough. Honestly, I've heard enough about the Kennedy assassination. I came to my conclusions.
which is wrong. Okay, but let's move to another topic. It's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, so getting back to this. So.
I don't know if I have time today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're done. You had to
but
go.
just do that part. Just do that part. I'm
So so I start here from Excel. So it looks weird, but this is MA. This is F equals MA, and this is F equals GMM over R squared, where
Mhm.
the M's dropped out. So let me maybe introduce before this that F equals MA and F equals GMM over R squared. Then from that you get that this is F acceleration, this is the acceleration, and this is the gravity. So if you have a free falling body, then the acceleration force, the acceleration is the gravitational force, something like that.
Okay.
Something like that. So anyway, the force of
Kind
gravity
of
is
like
causing.
weird momentum. Yeah.
The point is, yeah, it's weird. The force of gravity is causing acceleration, and it is equal to GMM over R squared. And from that, you get the m's cancel out, and you get that A equals GM over R squared. So from here, A equals GM over R squared. This is how I start this. So A equals GM over R squared. This is the beginning. So A equals GM. Now A is defined as dV/dt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So dV/dt is equal to GM over R squared, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the diagram. So basically, the question was, I should have started from the diagram. So you have a point
Yes.
mass that's what?
It's fine. I understand the equations.
Yeah, but what are we trying to solve? So we have Earth at the center of the universe, nothing else. And at distance equals infinity, we put a test particle, a massless test particle, or a tiny mass particle. We put it at infinity, v equals 0, r equals infinity, and we let it go, and it starts accelerating. In the beginning, acceleration is very small, close to 0. So it starts drifting, and it starts accelerating and accelerating, right? There's delta v. For every delta r, there's delta v. There's change in velocity. For every delta t, there's delta r and delta v. And it keeps accelerating until it impacts on the surface of the Earth with VF, V final. And we're asking, what is V final? And the assumption is that we're tracking the ether. What we just tracked is the flow of the ether from infinity. This is the flow of the ether, given that A equals GM over R squared. So what we're interested in the speed of the ether as it impacts on the surface of the Earth. That's what we're asking. So far, so good?
Yeah, so far so good. And I've also read the other equations, so it's fine.
Oh, you read everything?
Yeah.
So you understand everything to the end? You understand?
Okay, the part I haven't read, so I need to read.
Okay. Let me just go through it again. So anyway, so we said A is defined as dV/dt. So dV/dt is equal to GM over R squared. dV/dt, we can add the dr in the center because dV/dr is all right. dV changes as a function of dr. So dV/dr times dr/dt, we're multiplying by dr/dr, is equal to GM over R squared. But dr/dt is the definition of velocity. The change of R over time is the velocity. So dV/dr times v is equal to GM over R squared. We're going to move dr to this side and dv over to the right of v. So v dv is equal to GM over R squared dr. Integrate both sides. So we're going to integrate the velocity from the velocity equals 0 to the velocity is final when it crashes on the surface of the Earth. And simultaneously, the radius or the distance is from r equals infinity, where the velocity is 0, the distance is infinity, to impacting on the surface of the Earth, where the radius is r. This r and this r, they look the same, but they're not. This is r that changes. This is the r of the Earth. Okay, so the derivative of v dv is v squared over 2. Or the derivative of v is v squared over 2. And the derivative of GM comes out because they're both constant. So 1 over r squared, the derivative of 1 over r squared is 1 over r. So v squared over 2, we're going to integrate from 0 to v final. And GM over r, we're going to integrate, we're going to plug in from...
Great, really, but I get it, yeah.
It's what?
It's going
What?
from there to the other one.
What?
It's not really integrate, but It's not integrate.
I mean, it's already
Not
integrated.
integrate.
Yeah, it's called. You plug in the absolute values, whatever.
Yeah,
It had.
yeah. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah,
but yeah, I get it.
yeah,
Okay,
you
so
plug in
you
the
get
n.
VF equals to square root
So
of 2gmr.
right,
Like, what's that? Okay, so you get 11 kilometers per second. So what about
right.
the Schwarzschild radius? You were trying to get that as well.
Yeah, let me just
That's interesting. It's an interesting result that you
11.
get the square root of 2.
1 second. So v squared over 2. So v squared is equal to 2gm over r. Because r plugs in, infinity makes it 0, 0 makes it 0, v final. So v final squared is equal to 2gm over r, or v is equal to v final is 2gm over r square root. Now why is it 11? Because gm over r squared is 9.8. It's 10. Everybody knows that gm over r squared at the surface of the earth is about 10 meters per second per second. So gm over r is 10 times the radius of the earth, which is about 66,000. So this is 10 times 6,000. This is 60,000 times 2 is 120,000. The square root of 120,000, the square root of 120 is 11. So it's 11 kilometers because this was in meters. So it's 11 kilometers a second. That's the velocity of the ether as it impacts on the surface of the earth. Now, black hole derivation from Newton. So everything we did until now is Newton. So we're going to go again to Vf equals square root of 2gm over r. So this equation 1. But now we want to turn Earth into a black hole. So we assume that V final is C. Somehow we shrunk, right? We're looking for the radius of the Earth as a black hole. So whatever it takes for, we're going to shrink the radius until the V final becomes the speed of light. So this is the speed of light. What must the radius be according to Newton? So you square both sides. So you get c squared is equal to 2gm over r. So c squared is equal to 2gm over r. And then you switch r and c squared. So r of a black hole is equal to 2gm over c squared, which is Schwarzschild equation for the radius of a black hole. So you don't need Einstein for a black hole.
Yeah,
You never.
good.
Yeah, I mean, I knew this from many years ago. I never knew why everybody, gave so much respect to Schwarzschild and to Einstein. Like, black holes are not from Einstein, are not from Schwarzschild. Black holes are from Newton. They're derivable from Newton.
Yeah, that's great because that gives us another a completely different interpretation of what the black
Right,
hole
and
is.
this is the
Black
interpretation.
hole is just when that convergence is at the speed of light.
What?
So a black hole is just when the velocity of convergence is the speed of light.
Convergence?
Convergence.
I wouldn't say converge. I would just say the ether reaches the speed of light.
Yeah, that's fine.
And that's what makes it black, because
Yeah,
at the surface, the ether is moving at the speed of light, and the ether is the medium of light. That means light cannot get out, which makes it this black. But now you have a mechanical understanding, a very simple mechanical understanding of a black hole. Now you can start thinking, what happens to a clock moving? What happens around this boundary? You can start thinking about this boundary mechanically. You no longer have to think about it through the complexity of the Einstein and Schwarzschild and the metric.
and you can also think about the redshift, the gravitational redshift.
Yeah, gravitational redshift, that's a separate paper.
Because if there are differences in the speed of the ether, that would cause a redshift.
Where's the paper?
You already have a lot of papers. Yeah.
No. These are empty. These are in progress. Ether
Oh,
based. Yeah, here is the ether based gravitation time dilation. That's a paper. Yeah, it's an empty paper. This is empty. So that's a paper I want to write.
there's something there.
No, it's a mistake because you see when I open it, there's nothing here. I don't know. Every time I make it empty, it okay, but it always goes back. Anyway, it's an empty paper, but this paper is going to be ether-based gravitation time dilation. I mean, time dilation comes out of ether gravitation right away. Gravitation. Yeah, there's a bunch of papers I want to write. Mainly do the diagrams, but this paper, yeah, it would be very nice to show a clock, and to show exactly what happens as a particle nears. Like as I'm looking at a black hole, like everything about a black hole, you don't need Einstein to understand the black hole. It's so ridiculous. You can understand everything directly from Newton, and it becomes much easier when you involve the ether. Like to understand the time dilation, the length contraction, it becomes mechanical. I mean, look, either the ether theory is correct or it's very convenient.
Yeah, that's indeed true. You can't have another option there. But that's insightful in a way.
Yeah, I mean,
it is somewhat insightful.
Yeah, the ether gives you insight to such an extent that it gives you the indication that it's correct. Like I would have a very I would be very surprised if we end up discovering that the ether is completely incorrect and it's really empty space. I would be shocked.
No, it can't be because it has to.
I know, of
it
course.
has to be correct.
Yeah, that's true. Otherwise, it's a violation of my definition of science.
It's yes, it's not just your definition of science. It's a violation of a bunch of principles like locality, causality, and so on.
Yeah,
the universe
which
just becomes crazy.
Look, but they accept it. If you don't define your science,
Yeah, well, I mean, did you see the video of Sabine?
Yeah, I saw
the
it.
last one?
Yeah, she started yelling.
Yeah, she was mad.
Look,
But she was right as well. So it's
Of course.
it's worth
But
noting.
listen. If she's upset, what am I gonna say? Like she's new to being upset. She doesn't understand how bad it is. She thinks she knows. She doesn't know how bad it is. She still believes in global warming. She believes, in nonsense. So she has still a long way to go before she, before she really gets upset. She thinks she's upset now. Wait until give her some more time. She's gonna get even more upset. So Brian Keating is now yelling at her that she hurt his feelings. Anyway,
Brian Keating.
everybody's upset at
Brian Keating is
everybody.
such a clown.
What?
Brian Keating is such a clown.
He's okay. I don't like.
Nah,
I'm fine with him. Like he's okay.
Whatever, but it's like, yeah, I know a few things about Brian Keating because there's a YouTuber I watch regularly who's called Alien Scientist, and he apparently he gave some tips to Brian Keating and so on at the beginning of his channel. And then he wanted to appear on his channel to talk about the topic, and Brian Keating answered that he wasn't interested in that topic, and then he asked someone else to come and talk about that topic. Exactly. So yeah, he's that kind of guy. so I don't really like him.
It's
not
okay. It's fine.
It's
Everything.
it's not fine to not be honest. I don't approve of that for sure. But anyways, it's he's got his feelings hurt, I guess. 'Cause he got
Anyway,
found
let's.
out.
Yeah.
No, but
Anyway,
about global warming. Why do you not believe in climate change and what?
we'll talk about that tomorrow. I don't want to take more time. Like, you need to go to sleep and then drink.
No, it's okay. But just tell me what exactly don't you believe about it?
In general, like, you tell me what's your evidence for. Give me your
I
best.
mean, I don't think the models are right. That's the first thing I'd say.
I don't
think the models are right.
I don't have a
They
position.
haven't really made any predictions throughout the year, so there's no reason to believe that they're right.
I don't.
I don't think the temperatures that are being measured right now are also, they're not reliable. I don't think that, but simultaneously, the logic of the thing makes some sense.
The logic of what?
Yeah, the logic that you're putting some extra carbon dioxide on the atmosphere, and that will cause some kind of heating.
No, but okay, you're asking me why I don't believe in global warming, so I'm asking you
what your position is specifically. That's
right, but I'm trying to understand. So you're asking me why I don't believe in global warming, so I'm asking you, give me your best shot of why I should believe.
That's what. No, but that's what I've done. I don't. First, I prefaced saying that I don't really believe the models, and I also don't believe the alarmism. And
wait, so you also don't believe in global warming?
No, I don't believe in the models that they use because they haven't produced results.
Okay, but I'm trying to understand your position. So you're like me.
Yes,
you're
I'm trying to explain.
Then you
I don't
then
believe
you
in the models that they produce.
Then you know that Sabine Hosenfelder, she's full of nonsense when she's affirmed.
She does affirm the models. That's the problem that she has, for sure.
I wouldn't say the models. I mean, in general, when she's a global warming hysteric. She's hysteric when it comes to global warming.
I mean, I don't know if let's not classify that because we have the problem with the word that is interpretable in many ways.
Anyway, that's my problem. My problem, I don't care if there is warming or there isn't. Even if there is, there's no reason to become hysterical. That's all I'm saying. And she is relatively.
I don't think that. Yes. I don't think it's such a big deal as people make of it.
Relatively to my taste, she is way too hysteric about global warming. Like, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm concerned, if there is global warming, that's probably very good. Most likely, it's very good. We should have more of it.
Good. It's probably not good, but
so okay,
I kind of disagree with that. I don't think like changing things that way is going to be very good.
Okay, look, in general, you know me. So you've heard enough of me that everything I feel is organic and I'm fine with everything. I'm not reacting to anything. You know.
What I also think is that nature will just adapt.
Exactly. Nature will adapt, and we, the humans, will fix whatever we need to fix, we'll fix, unless the global warming hysterics will prevent us from fixing. And that's
I think we could already fix at this point.
But that's the problem. The problem is that the global warming hysterics are not letting us deal with.
It's not just that. I think society in general is just kind of crazy. So like in terms of like we would be able to fix it. Yes, we would be able to fix the problem, but no one's going to do it because no one's interested in doing it except a select few people. Like what happens in these situations is always you get a bunch of people just complain endlessly that there is a problem, but actually do nothing to solve it, and
But
just tell everyone that we must do something, and then
I
you
would
got
say
other people who just don't really care,
so.
and
I would.
it's like a fight between these people. So what?
I would.
No, you should care. No.
So I would say.
Yeah.
I would say it's exactly the opposite. I would
Really?
say that, yeah, I would say that there's too many people trying to fix it too much, and that's the problem.
What do you mean by trying to fix it? I think there are lots of people who are concerned with it, but trying to fix it is a.
So there's too many people too worried and trying to do too much, and that's a recipe for a real disaster.
Yeah, but I don't think it's not too much. It's like they're not trying to do appropriate things.
There's no.
It's like they're just trying to have like initiatives that don't really do anything. Like, oh, we should have more green energy. So no, you cannot replace fossil fuels like that. It's not gonna work.
So in
And,
general,
we should have a nuclear power plant at every vector or
in
something.
in
It's more
general,
complicated than that. You can't do that.
so in general, you know how I am. I am pro organic. Everything should be organic. So you should let the problems, let the people, give the people freedom, and everything will be much better. So, for example, let Elon Musk build a spaceship. Very quickly, we'll be able to build a moon base. We'll be able to build a mass accelerator. We'll be able to build actual shades that we can.
I mean, I partially agree
just
with that.
uh,
Yeah, I mean, I got
let
your
me
point. So
well let me just finish, and then we can, for example, deploy shades at L1 if you want to control the weather. So we can stop hurricanes, we can stop it from being too sunny, too
that's a
humid.
bad idea.
It's a bad idea.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think humans. I wouldn't trust anyone to control the weather. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
So I do. So in general, as long as it's not a government, if it's private property,
I would not trust anyone, really, government or not. Certainly would not trust the government in the model
look,
that it is today.
look. In
I also
general,
wouldn't trust the private sector to control the weather.
no. In general, we should be getting off this planet. But you have organizations like the FAA that's stopping it. You have organizations that are stopping
I
you.
honestly, I don't think. I think we're doing everything wrong. We will not get out of this planet with what Elon Musk is doing. It's not gonna. It's not gonna
Well,
work.
certainly if the FAA keeps stopping people like Elon Musk and keep putting hurdles in the path of people like Elon Musk, and the US is the most free place on the planet to build a spaceship. When with all of that, he's having a nightmare, and he's the most powerful person on the planet, having a nightmare,
It's not the most powerful.
having a nightmare just to build a simple starship. So
Well, yeah, it is what it is. And you know what's even worse? You know who's even doing more to stop humanity or to delay humanity from building a proper spaceship? You know who that is?
no,
The physics academia, of course.
not just that. I mean, anyway, we can go on talking forever. I don't want to waste too much time. I don't want to complain. I either want to write papers or study AI or
Yeah,
start building.
just want to say that I generally agree with you that it's usually more optimal to give people freedom simply because you don't have other people constantly interfering with what people who are more qualified and better than them at the job would do. But in terms of actually that solving all problems, nah, it's still very not good. It's the best, but it's not very good either. It's not gonna solve every problem in the world.
Okay, we can talk about it later. I'd
Yeah.
rather not waste time. We need to write papers, and
Yeah, sure, but I don't have much time these days. But
fine.
we'll
So
see
if
what
you want to
happens.
do if you want to do more AI, we can do AI.
Yeah, the question is, I don't know if I have just too much time during the week these days, but we'll see.
Really? You don't have time? Like during the evenings, you don't have an hour?
Yeah, because I need to commute during a lot of for a long time to work these days.
Wait, and during the commute, you cannot talk. You don't have YouTube.
I can, but like, I mean, I can, but it's gonna be on the phone, and I don't know, like it's a bit more limited.
Do you have a headset? Can you get a normal headset?
I need to get one. I only have like small phones.
So you can use the phone, but if you had a good USB headset, that would be amazing. Because then we could,
I can
you
get
could,
one.
what?
I can try to get one.
I mean, it's expensive. I mean, it's probably like $200, $300. I don't know.
Not. I don't want to spend that much.
Maybe you can find something for under
Yeah, I
$100.
will try to do that, but we will see.
Just make sure it has a microphone that, like a normal headset, that the microphone is next to your cheek so I can hear you well.
Yeah, okay, I could do that. But
That's
anyway, it's still a bit of a yeah, it's still a bit of a problem. I need to be rich to do this.
what you need to be rich to have a headset and do a podcast from a train?
No, need to be rich to like focus on like actually figuring these things out properly.
Okay. Start our if you can start looking into a normal headset. But either way, you still have like AirPods, right?
Yeah, we can try to do it.
So that's how long do you spend on the train every day, like on the way home?
It's not train, it's bus, but it's like 1 hour and 25 minutes.
That's perfect. So when you're on the ride, we should do a
Yeah,
podcast. We should do AI.
okay. I'll tell you then.
You'll tell me?
Yeah, I'll tell you when
Tell me
it's
what?
to go home.
What? When you reach Rome? What?
No, when I'm in the bus, I'll tell you.
Okay. All right. Try to tell me tomorrow so we can do it so we can start
Yeah.
tomorrow. It's
Okay.
good for
Sounds good.
you. I mean, it's good for you to we can do AI, we can start building a model. Let's get
Yeah.
through these lectures, finish
Yeah.
the
What
lectures.
do you want the model to be for? You want it to be general?
Of course, I know how to build AGI. What do you think?
Yeah. The problem with that is, I mean, the problem with that is that like you need like a lot of parameters and stuff like,
I don't need
and a
I don't
lot of
need that.
data for.
I don't
You
need
don't need
that.
that. Okay.
I don't need anything. I can build something. The smallest worm has only 300 neurons, and it's very smart. It has a social life. It has sex. It knows how to eat, how to poop, how to go to where it's warm, to stay away from predators. It's very smart with 300 neurons and very few connections, very few weights. So
So you
you
want
don't
to
need.
make it optimal. Yeah, that's something I wanted to do for some time, but I haven't really had the time to
So
do it.
if you understand how the brain works, you don't need so many neurons.
Yeah, that's something that in AI they're really not exploring enough. That's true.
It's fine. It's fine. So I know how it works. So I can
Okay,
bypass.
that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
All
If you
right, we
want.
need to do that for sure.
Yeah. So let's go through this course. I want to learn how to use the tools. How to I know some Python.
Oh, I'll teach you how to use TensorFlow. No problems.
That's good. That's
So
fantastic.
that's like that should not like I haven't been using it for a while, so there might be some new functionalities, but in general I can use Keras and TensorFlow like really well.
Excellent.
No problems. I've done various projects on them,
That's good.
like for both professionally and non-professionally.
Excellent. All right, so let's start tomorrow. So let me know when you're on the
Yeah,
bus.
but we will really need TensorFlow because if we're going to edit things at a lower level, we will need that.
Okay, so we'll whatever we can use Jupyter for the to just
Yeah,
to
yeah,
do.
Jupyter is the best for sure.
So we'll use Jupyter. It's fine. Do you know how to
Yeah,
use Jupyter?
TensorFlow is like is a Python framework. So Jupyter is like something else.
But do you know how to use Jupyter? Do you know
Yes.
how to program it? Then it's fantastic. We'll do it on Jupyter. Anyway, let me know when you're ready and we can start.
All right. Tomorrow. What time is it for you?
I cannot say this when we're on
Oh, you
stream.
can say that. Okay, fine. Then I'll tell you.
Okay, I'll talk to you.
Yeah, I forgot that. I forgot about that. So. All right.
It's
See
okay.
you.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.